I'm Jimmy Leach. Welcome to this episode of The Cop Shop. Back in the early mid 80s, late 70s, I was a special agent with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and one of my functions was to work undercover. Matter of fact, most of what I did was homicides and undercover work. Uh, it would probably have been around 80 or 81, I think. We loaded up and did a gambling raid operation in one of the major cities here in Tennessee. Well, no need to mention which city it was, but back then there weren't but about 50 of us TV agents in the state, probably somewhere around that. Yeah. So when we did a deal like that, they gathered everybody up. We had guys from West Tennessee, where I was assigned. We went to East Tennessee for the raids. We got there, and they were fairly successful, but there were two or three places, best I recall, that we went to, and it was obvious they knew we were coming. You can tell. There was no doubt they knew that we were coming to raid the place that night. As you might suspect, we pulled everybody in the state and went up there to pull this raid and spent a bunch of money on overnight stays and this and that, and we had to leave the cases we were working and go do that stuff. We were kind of upset at the fact that somebody let the cat out of the bag that we were coming. So they waited about a year, I guess, and they decided to send me and one of my main undercover partners back to that city undercover to get in some of those gambling games again. And I guess we just didn't wait long enough, I don't guess, because they were still real hinky. We got up there, we couldn't get in, and we'd done a lot of undercover work. We I guess decent at it, but we couldn't get in the game at all. We were up there for a week, and we worked at it. We tried, and when you're going in places where they're having gambling in the place, somewhere in the back room, or you're trying to hook up with people who will invite you to come in a gambling game somewhere else. Well, you spend money, okay? So we were up there a week. We had spent quite a bit of money trying to get in these games, and with absolutely nothing to show for it. As you might expect, we were a little bit concerned with explaining when we got back to our bosses, what we've been doing with all that money. They would have understood, I'm sure, but still, it wasn't a good fit. So the day we were getting ready to leave, we were going to have breakfast before we headed back west. And we went into Jerry's or Denny's, one, to have breakfast. And we were sitting there, and neither one of us was saying much. And all of a sudden, there were two people behind us, two men. And they began to talk about the gambling operations in that city. And my partner and I, we just looked at one another, and we had paper napkins. And we each had an ink pen, of course. And we just pulled an ink pen out and started writing on the napkins, making notes. And we sat and listened to those two guys talk. Of course, they had no idea who we were. No idea we were listening to them. We didn't act like we were listening, of course. And they outlined what was going on in that city with a whole lot of the gambling industry. And they talked about the fact that the TBI had come to raid about a year before, and that some of the people knew that the TBI was coming and how they knew, and the whole 9 yards. We made notes. We got back, we wrote up a report on it, and it turned out really good. Everybody thought we did a great job, and this and that. There's an old saying that says, "I'd rather be lucky than good any day." And after that little situation, I certainly am a firm believer in that, because we were just lucky. Folks, you have a good rest of the day. Thanks for spending some time with us. My name again is Jim Leach. Till we meet next time, please be safe.